foggy day, 11 a.m. Saturday, foggy, cold, miserable weather. And yeah, tomorrow we are once again going to the polling stations to vote. So tomorrow we have local elections, so village, city councils and mayors and so forth. Oh, dogosh. Lizzie. Pretty Lizica. Oh yeah, so let's say it's not a really funny story, but so previous weekend here in Slovenia was so-called Martinova Sobota, which basically it's Saint Martin's Saturday, and it's usually there are basically two Saturdays, two weekends in a row are let's say dedicated to the Saint Martin and his ability to convert Lizzie tukaj greva, pet greva tukaj, to convert, create a wine from I don't really know, in Slovenian it's called most, young wine to the mature wine basically. And so of course, due to tradition, you basically you have the geese and the ducks consumed widely, usually with red cabbage, mlinci. Mlinci is basically like hard tack, which is then submerged, okay, once again here, submerged into usually a soup, like a beef soup, let's say quickly cooked and then served, and of course with roasted duck or geese, and of course a lot of wine is consumed, and of course that means a lot of drunk drivers around the rock, because of the tradition, of course. And so one of the candidates on these local elections, not here in Ljubljana, but one of the villages, he managed last weekend to of course drive while completely hammered, and he ran over one of his potential voters. So the victim, he is an invalid on crutches, so let's say mobility impaired, but he had also the high visibility vest on, and he was on the side of the road, because there are of course now a lot of villages don't have sidewalks, paved sidewalks, and he was doing everything according to the rule, but this candidate on the local elections he didn't actually run him over. The guy ended up on his hood of the car. He was driven on the hood for several meters, and then the victim kind of, you know, rolled off the hood on the ground. There were several witnesses to this accident. They called the police. The guy was transported to the hospital, of course. So now he has both legs are broken, and in hour and a half they located the driver, the responsible party, and he was of course breathalyzed, and he was still he had like 0.8 still, you know. Of course that's, you know, too high. I think it's 0.5 for regular drivers. So yeah, and this week he, you know, apologized, and now they are, but he didn't say that he will not let's say, in case if he will be elected, that he will resign, because you know, officially, technically, legally, he cannot resign from the candidacy because it's too late. You know, everything has been already printed, so they cannot undo his candidacy at this point. But he didn't say what he will do if he will be elected. So yeah, I don't think people will be really confident in having, you know, drunk driver that caused an accident. But you know, when being intoxicated is considered, you know, not only part of the tradition, but also, you know, oh, he was driving and he was, you know, drunk. Oh, we have to feel sorry for him. You know, mitigating circumstances instead, you know, of you know, let's say, increase his sentence, his punishment by, you know, twice, 3 times. You know, you have this taken into consideration in favor of him, you know. Yes, you know, still too much, you know. Yep. I really don't understand the judicial system, unless you are saying that someone was, you know, forcing him to drink and then drive. But of course this is not true. We will see if he will be elected. Okay, let's stop because it's cold.